YTPC. So, I have figured out the editing process a little bit better, so I'm going to try cutting a few videos together and see how it works. This is going to be the first part. I couldn't figure out a way to hold the camera to where I could weigh everything out and actually be able to have you guys see what I'm doing. But I'm working on a 1 pound plug, a pirate plug. That was what I was smoking in the previous video. So, what we got is my steaming rig. One of them cheap throwaway aluminum roasting pans. Clothing steamer. A couple bacon racks. With a third one underneath. I don't know how well this is going to show up, how well it ain't. But, let her steam for a while. I've got some of the magic juice on there. Everclear and water. Help get that leaf soft to where I can start forming it, getting all fit in. Press number 4. So, see how this goes. Probably won't get uploaded till tomorrow by the time I'm done editing everything. This pan is full. It's got 12 ounces of latakia in it. It's got 2.5 ounces of aged burley in it. And just about 2 ounces of Turkish Oriental in it. So, to speed up the process, I will see you in a little bit. Okay, I'm back, YTPC. So, leaves have been steaming for half hour, 45 minutes. Doing it this way so you can see what I'm using the drying racks for, how they were set up. Maybe you can figure out something that you can use, accomplish the same thing, or maybe you get a better idea and let me know. So, right now, I've got a big old pile of tobacco leaves. Still need to go through and destem all the burley. It's all nice and pliable now. Hopefully I can figure out on the editing for actually being able to fast forward through stuff. I forgot to grab my other tray. Actually, so, kind of try to retrieve all the Orientals here, get them over in their own zone. That way, when I do go to start layering everything together, I can actually get even layers. Wish I had more than one steamer, but I don't. So this is the way I've got to do it. Oh, and I don't know if I mentioned this when I was destemming the Virginias for that twist or that dark fired. Works better if you do it from the top. like I said in the other video, I don't bother destemming the Orientals or the Latakia because, well, so fragile anyways. And I don't know how well. The stems are just little bitty guys, very small. And burley leaf, decent size. Doesn't take a lot to make a lot. And like I said before, I start and weigh everything dry. Everything's gonna weigh more, yes, once it's rehydrated. But that way I know it's gonna come out more than what I wanted. Now, like, leaves aren't soaked by any means. They still got some good tension to them. If you hear any random grunting or anything, I've got my dog in here with me, out in the garage. Currently, he's laying behind me, pouting a little bit. We're not out throwing the ball. Oh, I always make sure my hands are just as clean as I can get them before I start doing this too. It's one of those things where I don't want any transfer, anything else that could cause mold. Happens easy enough to pipe tobacco as it is, or any tobacco for that fact. So I always practice just being as clean as possible while doing it. I know in some of my other videos, I noticed I have a bad habit of scratching my nose, which I'm gonna try to refrain from. I'm just a fidgety kind of dude. Not smoking anything during this process because, well, get enough through the hands. Yep. Oh, and by the way, if you're wondering, this smells amazing right now. It really does. Some of the leaf got a little extra hydrated, but it's alright. It'll get pushed out when it gets pressed. And it'll probably dry out a bit before I even start. So with the sunshine coming in through the windows right now, it might only be about 15 degrees outside, but sitting closer to 65, 70 here in the garage. Don't even have the boiler turned on, just running natural sunlight right now. It's amazing how well they build houses up here where it's cold all the time. It's not a super quick process. Like I said, I hope I can get fast forward working. Then you won't have to listen to me sit here and ramble on about randomness and the tobacco and making your mouth drool because, well, it smells amazing. I might make sure to throw that in just so you know the utter smell that's going on right now. That's completely engulfing my garage. Trying to get some of the leaf clumps of the Latakia broke up. Such a small, delicate leaf. Some of those need some hydration because they were wadded up so tight. Like a hydration corner in the pan. I am looking into trying a vinegar casing or whatever you want to call it for the anti-mold portion. Reading up online, that's sounding like what McClellan's and a few other places do is just a real light distilled water vinegar combo. Just don't know how much to use without it making it all taste like damn vinegar, which I don't want. It's amazing how much just a little bit of time, some steam, makes something that you grabbed it, you turn to dust, no time flat, because it's so dry. I keep all my leaf as dry as possible, then rehydrate to use. The drier you keep your leaf, less likely of a chance you have for mold issues. Some of the stuff's already starting to dry out now that it's off the steam. I know some of it toward the bottom is going to be a little soggy. It's alright. Make sure you get all the big chunks broke up. Nice thing is, even pressing, Latakia can be just as ugly as it is. I won't ever know it, it'll be inside this nice little cube. Really hoping to keep this video not 10 years long, but we're already at 10 minutes and I ain't even started squishing nothing yet. And I have another portion that's getting edited on the front of it. So one thing you do gotta look for with Latakia and Darkfire both is twine. A lot harder to see in the Latakia because, well, it looks like stem. Assuming it's from when they bunch up the leaves for their smoke cure. But it doesn't stand out very well. Just looks like a piece of it, except for it's a little fuzzy. It's just a hemp rope or something along those lines. I don't think it hurt anything to smoke it. Might taste a little funny. I might have smoked a bit of it already and not knowed. I'm not sure. This is definitely something, if you're going to decide to get into it, make sure you have the time to do it and don't rush yourself. I'm trying to speed up just a little bit for you guys watching so it's not so damn boring. Looks pretty good. So, what I've got, pressed number 4, aluminum, a little bit of parchment paper for the bottom. Got the top wrapped in cellophane. At this point, it's really boring. All we're doing is filling it up. Trying to make as even as layers as possible. I usually start with something that's an actual big leaf. First couple layers on the bottom, last few layers on top. Kind of helps sandwich everything together. Squishing it down as best I can by hand, looking in there, looking for voids. I got a little bit in one corner. Along one edge. Squish her down. And let's throw some. And don't forget, if you got a blend that's a lot more one leaf than the other, make sure you're using plenty of the leaf that you have the most of, or else you'll end up with just a pile of it on top without anything else on top of it. Still be a plug, still smoke great. Sometimes I try to make it look a little better though. Like with one like this, it's going to be mostly black. You saw the pictures from previous videos of the pirate plug, and it's pretty well all black. Usually for this one, I just hit the Latakia layers with the magic juice. Helps it to kind of rehydrate and squish a little bit better and actually hold up. End up big fissures and it peeling apart, which had happened more than once. I think after this one I'm going to do a full Virginia plug. 2 different types of Virginia. Stove one for better part of a day. Get her nice and pretty and dark. Throw a big lot of it in there. Hit her with some good spritzing. Throw some nice little layer of orientals on top of that. Now, I'm not saying this is your only way to do it. Figure out your own way. Maybe you find one that works better than me. Let me know. Nice thing about the plugs, you definitely don't have to worry about the leaf being as pretty as you do for a twist, at least for the wrapper. Because once you put the squeeze on it, she's staying together. And for this one, I'm using my aged burley, leaf only. Need to remember go in and throw that in at the bottom in the bucket or the basement, depending on who you talk to, what it's called or hear it called. Don't forget, I didn't make this channel to make money. I'm more than willing to get some out to some of you guys. However, trading samples, maybe make you a custom one. We can discuss that. How we want to go about for the value wise and whatnot. But mainly, doing this, show you guys how to do it. And you guys develop your own method. I had several people tell me I just need to open up a shop, keep everything secret. What's the fun in that? Anybody can get online and look up how to press tobacco. How I figured out how to do it. Were they very in-depth? No. Were they as long as these? No. Did I learn enough? I think so. Really wish Latakia came in burley size leaves or even Virginians. But they don't. kind of keep squishing her down as you go. Till you can't squish no more. Layer more on. As it tries to expand and creep up, it's going to try to pull that bottom, or pull the press body up off the bottom. This friction. Keep putting it back. Every once in a while, you do want to hit the non-latikia layers or even wetter leaf layers. Just make sure you got some anti-mold right in the middle of it. At least it makes me feel better. And I think the alcohol helps break down some of the leaf structure and almost helps glue it together at the same time. I'd usually be doing this in the kitchen, but my wife has not home, and the lighting out here is actually better. So maybe next couple videos might be out here, might be in the house. Don't know yet. Don't know if it matters. Seems like watching some of your guys' channels, you guys kind of bounce around where you do videos at. It's not something that needs to be in the same place every time. I'm starting to realize I'm going to run out of content pretty quick, so I'll probably start doing some stuff like the rest of y'all do, pipe reviews, backy reviews, stuff like that on top of it. I don't know how many of these plug or twist videos you guys are interested in actually seeing. Same process over and over again, unless I figure out a new way to do it, which I'll definitely share with y'all then. Still got a lot of backy to get stuffed in here. It's going to take a couple pre-squeezes, I think. And I'll show you that once we get there. We're not there yet. Ain't nearly dense enough. I know Josh subscribed to the page. Don't know how often he actually watches what I put on, but I want to thank you, buddy. These aluminum presses, the idea for it, all on you, and they are sweet. I wish I had video of the 1 pounder coming out. It didn't necessarily want to come out, but it did. It was pretty. I believe I'm using it as my picture here on YouTube. Looks about like zebra stripes. put it up and I think it was my second video when I was, or whenever I first started talking about the 100 subscriber giveaway. And I'm not even doing full polls on that. Let's see if I can pick this up. Getting pretty full. Last 1 pounder I did, same size press, ended up being about 3 inches tall. It was only 35% latakia, which doesn't seem to compress quite as nice. I haven't made a 1 pounder pirate plug yet, but I figured it's the only way I'm going to get enough out of whack to actually be able to send some people some nice flakes. Give them some samples. Give you guys some samples. And I knew I should have wrote down the names, people that have been commenting on previous videos. So I knew I'd never remember, but I didn't. Wanting to thank a bunch of folks. Well, shoot, I can't even, none of them are even coming to mind at this point in time. I'll get them wrote down. There's going to be multiple portions that I'm going to have to probably splice together on this. We're at a half hour on this already, which hopefully, like I said, if I can figure out the editing, it won't be nearly as long. It might be a half-hour video total. Get her compacted a little bit more. This one's almost ready for a pre-squeeze. I'm gonna say probably 2 or 3 throughout the process of this one. Get everything to actually sit down and stay how I want it. Probably gonna end up duct tape the bottom of this one. I forgot to do that when I first put her together. Keep it from trying to lift as much. Oh, I know you're gonna watch this, Ben. I need to hurry up and do a review on that stuff I sent you. I'm curious to see what you think. Probably haven't had time to even clean up that Falcon I sent you. But you're a busy guy, I understand. The video though, just kind of guy I am. No hard feelings meant or intended. All you other guys in the YTBC, hoping to have more conversation with you. Somebody needs to tell me how you guys communicate, because it doesn't look like YouTube has a messenger per se. You guys just talk throughout comments, get each other's emails. Just kind of curious on how that works. So at this point, I think I'm gonna reset the jag for the camera and show you guys a little pre-compaction, pre-squeezing, and it's gonna hang out in the vise for half hour, 45 minutes, an hour somewhere. Cover this stuff up so it don't dry back out too much. Just use a damp paper towel. Keep her wet. Hit her with a little bit more magic juice. Oh yeah, got her loaded up in the vise. Oop. Just tight enough to hold it. Gonna be grabbing some duct tape here, taping up the bottom. I just had it. What do I do with it? All this is doing is keeping the body of the press from trying to walk up. It'll stick. I'll actually go through, cut little holes in it, because there's going to be black goo of flowing from this once she starts doing it. Okay, so take this down so it doesn't try to walk too much. Looks like we're still in view, but I think it's trying to focus on something else versus what I'm doing. I apologize for that. Don't look too bad. I don't need to be on. Okay, so evidently it stopped recording without me realizing it because I was too busy paying attention to this. But essentially, started with this little socket. Now we've got a long socket in there. And we've got some compaction going on. This is 4 inches deep. If I can find a tape measure real quick. 1/2 inch plate on the top. When we started, it was all the way up, so we've got this guy compressed down that far. It's going to stay in there, like I said before, half hour to an hour. Get back with you then. Okay, continuing on. Still in the press. Or in the vise, being squeezed. And we'll get a little bit more pressure on it. Means I'm going to leave it just a little bit longer. That way it actually holds shape. I've decided to turn this one into a 2-piece or 2-part just because of the sheer time that it's taken. I have about 40 minutes on this current video. That way you guys don't have to sit there and watch for that long. I can't figure out the editing to speed up certain points and not, so hope you enjoy this first half. The part 2 will be coming soon, right after it. I'm going to continue. Still got plenty of tobacco to put into it, as you can see. So we'll see you in part 2. Thanks.